Thinking he'd written the last account of the adventures of Sherlock Holmes, it comes as quite a delightful surprise when London's most celebrated detective invites Dr. Watson over one beautiful spring Sunday morning in the twilight of his retirement. "My dear Dr. Watson," declares he in a voice charged with newfound gusto and electrical energy, "there is one last adventure from my youth that must be recorded for posterity." "What posterity?" says Dr. Watson. "Neither of us have any children." "That is a different story, but we may circumnavigate the world to get back to that adventure of mine too. However, the posterity that I reference is that of the Count of Monte Cristo, his heirs, and all of those who his life has touched. More precisely, I'm referring to our literary posterity. I read the book in my youth with great interest, and the subsequent news reports of how he rose to become the magnificent Sultan of Albania. But how can an adventure from your youth relate to such a famous persona without my knowledge? How have you kept such a singular secret from me all of these years?" "Singular, most definitely. We can even call this case singularity itself, as I cut my teeth on it and discovered my investigative powers, which shone more brilliantly under the Count of Monte Cristo's tutelage than I ever had dreamed possible. What I never told you is that Arthur Conan Doyle was my best childhood friend, and his family invited me to join them on their vacation in Paris." "You mean to say that Sir Arthur Ignatius Conan Doyle was your childhood friend? The very one the Queen knighted recently?" Dr. Watson asks. "Yes, the very one. And he and his father play an integral role in this greatest of all adventures. What I'm about to relate to you will change your perception of history and blaze a path to understanding the future." Dr. Watson opens a box carved of mahogany wood, intricately inlaid with pearls, and presents a Cuban cigar to his best friend, saying, "Tell me if these are not the finest smokes yet." While waiting for an answer, Dr. Watson asks, "Have you increased your dosage of cocaine? Never before have I seen you so electrified with energy." "Indeed, I am more electrified than ever, yet not from cocaine. I now eschew that drug which held me in its thrall for years. My energy comes from the possibility of telling you my tale, which I have so long held from the world." Holmes takes a deep puff as Dr. Watson lights his own cigar, adding, "This is indeed the finest Cuban to date. However, it does not compare to the smoke you recommended." "Ha ha ha ha! Let me guess," shouts out Dr. Watson. "You now stuff your pipe with cannabis sativa." "You have hit the bullseye, my dear Watson. Just wait until you see my lab overgrown with various strains and my other amazing experiments therein. Wonderful! I can't wait to write down every detail. Shall we visit the lab now?" "Not yet. First, I must tell you that most of the story you're about to hear is nearly the same as the book you have read. Although I will condense it, you must pay more attention this time for clues that will be important later in the story."